if you're listening to this as it's recorded on Thursday. The Knicks on Wednesday night took on the Thunder at the Garden in what was a fun game. I mean, well, I don't want to say it was a great game, but it was a good game and an interesting game trying to see the measuring stick. Now, the Thunder are hurt. Some of their top players are out. Mitchell Robinson didn't play in the second night of a back-to-back, so it's not full bore. If they were in the finals, that's what it would look like. But the overall theme for me coming away from that game last night was not, okay, well, the Knicks definitively can't win the championship. I'm sure that's going to be a popular take. Can't win the championship. I understand it, but that to me is not my take. It's also not, well, the Knicks lost by 3 points to the Thunder and they can beat them. They can hang with them. I have two thoughts from this game. Number one, the Thunder are just flat out better. So we all knew that going into that game last night. But you watch the game and you're reminded of why that is the case. Even though the Knicks are talented, and I think it's the most talented Knicks team that I've seen in my lifetime. And I do like the fact that they have depth and scoring options all over the place. When I look at the Knicks, I don't really see a weakness. Maybe Mike Brown, to me, would be one of the weaker links. And even he's been fine, especially as of late. The team plays hard. They play defensively. They've got scoring. They've got depth. So all those things that you would want. But the main thing, not only are they not good enough or as good as the Thunder are just a better team, flat out better team. The main thing is, ask yourself this: why are the Thunder a better team? Why are the Pistons a better team so far this year? And to me, the answer is not because of Mike Brown. It's not because of Karl Anthony Towns and his, the offensive fouls or his inconsistency. And he's been great since the All-Star break. That's what you want to see from Karl Anthony Towns. Aside from the foul out last night, he has been tremendous since the All-Star break. But it's not the lack of depth, not the bench. It's not even the shooting, which has been inconsistent, but it's not even that. The reason why I would put the Thunder and the Pistons ahead of the Knicks is, and it pains me to say this, but it's the truth, is their superstars are better than the Knicks superstar. SGA is better than Jalen Brunson. Cade Cunningham is better than Jalen Brunson. And that's the problem. And this has been, now we're circling back. It's come full circle. We've talked about Tibbs. We've talked about Cat. We've talked about Randall. We've talked about this. We've talked about that. We've talked about depth. We've talked about scoring. Ultimately, if the Knicks are going to win the championship, they are going to need their superstar, their captain, a guy who I would not trade for anybody because I love him so much. I love his attitude, his mindset, his ability, all of it, the work ethic, the attitude, all of it. I love Jalen Brunson, but he isn't as good as SGA or Cunningham, just to name two of the top stars in the league right now in the respective conferences, in the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference. Maybe the lead MVP candidates as well. Obviously, SGA is right there. Is Cunningham the MVP this year if SGA is not? That's the problem. Ewing was an all-time great. He wasn't as great as Michael Jordan. That's an issue. Carmelo was great. I don't think an all-time great, but Carmelo was great. He wasn't as great as LeBron or D. Wade or even Chris Paul, but whatever. Jalen Brunson, for the Knicks to win a championship, is going to have to be that level and beyond. That's just the facts. Everything else is in place, but you saw it last night. How were the Knicks supposed to beat the Thunder last night? Jalen Brunson had to have a better game. And now the question becomes, okay, well, was it just a rare off night for Jalen Brunson, which we've seen happen before? Or is there something to the physicality that the teams like the Detroit Pistons or OKC, the Thunder have? Or even in years past with the Pacers, remember that was the thing. The Pacers defend Jalen Brunson well. Although he's gone off at times against them, still those series have been difficult series where Brunson is not just carrying the load. You don't want to have to rely on the superstar, in this case Brunson, to be the guy to carry the load every single night. The Knicks don't have to do that anymore against the majority of teams because they have a lot of depth where it could be OG one night, it could be Towns one night, could be the bench, the depth, whatever. But ultimately, in a game against the best team in the league where you're not as a team offensively where you need to be, whether it's Anunoby, whether it's some of the pieces, and Brunson specifically, you needed him to get you over the top. The free throw shooting, not great. You needed Brunson to take you over the top and be a star that could close out that game. I'm not just talking about the final missed three that would have tied, and the Knicks got two good looks there, nothing you could complain about. I'm talking about ultimately, of those three, SGA, Cunningham, Brunson, which one would you trust to take over a series when his team needed it? Who would be the unstoppable force? Hey, me, Sal here. Weird interrupting my own podcast, but I'm going to do it because it's a very special reason. We have Mets-Yankees Subway Series tickets to give away, courtesy of Sachdev Family Orthodontics in Rockland. Right now, we have 2 tickets, 1 pair of tickets, Mets-Yanks field-level tickets. It's the first Subway Series matchup of 2026 out at Citi Field. We'll be giving them away once we get to 10,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. We're at about 6 right now as we record this. So we're getting there. Ways to go. Games in May. If we don't get there, I guess just Badabooms and I will go. But anyway, a pair of tickets, Mets-Yankees Subway Series, Friday night, Citi Field, first game of the year between the Mets and the Yankees for 2026. We have a pair to give away once we get to the 10,000 subscribers. Okay, now you can go back to listening. Enjoy the rest of the show. We really appreciate you guys taking the time to check us out. Crunch time down the stretch, even with Brunson's clutch ability, and we know how clutch he is. And I hate to even do this because it sounds like I'm knocking Brunson, and I'm not. I love him, but the facts are the facts. I love Ewing too. He's not Jordan. And we know about Brunson's size, and we know about the deficiencies defensively. Those are things that may ultimately be the singular reason, despite the pieces around him, despite the coaches around him, despite the opponents, whoever it may be, those things, the fact that Brunson is not great defensively, the size is an issue. It's just a fact. He's not as great as the 2 great players in the league right now, the top 2 players in the league with SGA and Cade Cunningham. And I think that's the reason why, if the Knicks do fall short, would be the case. We've done this before, talking about, Brunson and Towns, they're just not the superstar tandem that the other teams have in the league, the top teams. But forget Towns now. Now let's just focus on Jalen Brunson. If the Knicks are going to win the championship, he's got to be the difference maker and prove what I'm saying incorrect, that he can carry a team over let's say carry his Knicks team over the Pistons in a best of 7 and outplay Cade Cunningham. He can outplay SGA in a best of 7. That's what it's going to take to win a championship. Can it happen? Could. That's what we're saying. The Knicks are in the can conversation. Do we think it will happen? Unfortunately, as much as I love Jalen Brunson, I have my doubts. So look no further. I mean, we could talk about, it'd be nice to get Miles McBride back and have another weapon. We could talk about Mo Diawara and Landry Shamet and how that bench has had great depth. We could talk about Mitchell Robinson being a difference maker when he's in there defensively and on the boards. The heart that Josh Hart has. Alvarado bringing some extra toughness to this team. OG, Bridges, Towns getting better from the second half. None of that matters if Jalen Brunson is not playing at a superstar level for at least 4 out of 7 games in those playoff series. That's what they need. And that's my fear, is that I said it last year when we were watching the Pistons and Knicks in the first round. Cunningham's I'm sorry, but I think Cunningham's the better player. And you saw SGA last night. Another thing about last night, I don't want to hear the excuses about the referees and the bad calls. I'm not saying the calls were favorable to the Knicks. They weren't. But that's not the reason why they lost. I mean, that happens all the time. So stop the whining. Stop the complaining, whether it's Mike Brown or others. And Mike Brown said it right. The Knicks missed opportunities at the free throw line. Obviously, you'd like to get there as much as the Thunder did. But the Knicks didn't shoot the ball well. Anunoby didn't shoot the ball well. Brunson didn't shoot the ball well. From 3, not great. And whether you want to credit the physical defense of OKC, I'm sure you tip your cap and credit them. But the Knicks just have to figure out a way to be better. I don't want to hear the excuses. And not only do they have to figure out a way to be better, Jalen Brunson, he is him. What's the saying, Badabooms? Like Himmy Brunson? What is it? No, Himmy Butler?
I was saying Himmy Gibbler yesterday to use.
Himmy Gibbler. Well, yeah, but how would you say it with Brunson? Because we know he is him, but is he as Himmy as Cade Cunningham or SGA?
Don't try to be too fellow kids here. What about him Tuffle? You like that one yesterday?
Him Tuffle, yeah. So how does it go? So I'd have to say him and then the last name of somebody that was named Tim or Jim?
It's just gotta be smooth. As long as it's smooth, nobody will care. As long as it sounds good. But
so then how do you say it with how would you say it with SGA?
Foul merchant.
No, come on. Here we go with the excuses. Yeah, that's an issue. No, but if you were giving him the nickname, SGA is him or Cade Cunningham.
You just say it's him, Cade Cunningham.
Cade Cunningham, right? That's an easy one.
Yeah.
But no like Hemi Tuffle or Hemi Butler. I like those. Those are fun.
Hemi Butler's classic though, because it's got to work with the name. If it doesn't work with the name, then you're reaching. Like
Him Nance.
I don't know, Jim. Mahomes, Jim.
You know what I'm saying though about Brunson, where we love him. He is him. I love him, and I legit would not want to trade him for anybody, even
That's
knowing. Yeah, he's our guy. He came here. He is New York. He represents the Knicks as well as anybody could do it. But he's got to, for the Knicks to win a championship, he's got to outplay Cade Cunningham and potentially SGA in a best of 7 series. That's what it's going to take. If you believe he can do that, then the Knicks are in line to go win a championship. If you don't think that he can, that's ultimately where they're going to fall short. I know it's going to be about Mike Brown. I know people are going to talk about Towns is not the right piece. Nobody wants to admit it because we love Brunson so much, but ultimately they're getting to the point of where it's either Brunson's going to be able to get them over the top against those great players, or he, while as a great player, just isn't good enough to do it. That's what it's going to come down to. That's what needs to be done for the Knicks to win the title. So let's see. And look, again, fun game. I enjoyed watching it last night, other than the result, and even right down to the end. Like we said, Knicks got a couple of good looks. Unfortunately, the Knicks fell short, and you hope that in a best of 7 series, you're going to need it. You're going to need Jalen Brunson to take over against those two guys. It sucks, right? Because it's not like the whole league is better than the Knicks, or all these players are better than Jalen Brunson. But all it takes is one. And in this case, you have two. You can have the Celtics out of the way, and you got to give them credit as well. You know, with Celtics have been better than the Knicks this year record-wise in the regular season. Without Tatum comes back, they're going to be tough too. But I wouldn't look at those teams. The Knicks did beat them a year ago. Even before Tatum was going down, the Knicks were playing well in that series. So Jalen Brunson got over that hump. The Pacers have been an issue. Maybe they're not going to be an issue this year. Obviously, we know the case there. So they're out of the way for now. The issue becomes he's great, but is he great enough to beat Cade Cunningham or SGA? That's ultimately going to be the question. And then it's just, instead of Brunson being the greatest Knick of all time, he's going to be right alongside Patrick Ewing as being all-time great Knicks, but unfortunately not great enough to deliver their first championship since 1973.